gay?
Gay. Why go with like 4?
mark on the teleprompter.
I love you.
After all, enough's enough.
Hope everything turns out okay.
We empty out all the money in the cash register, and Mr. Duncan just gook, Duncan just gook, Duncan just gook, Duncan just, and Mr. Duncan just, Duncan just, Duncan just, Duncan just, Duncan just gook, Duncan just gook, Duncan just gook, Duncan just, and Mr. Duncan just, Duncan just, Kevin, Duncan just, Duncan just, Duncan just, Mr. Duncan just, take the prank, Duncan just, I'll book you in, and Mr. Duncan just, I have one, Duncan just, takes the prank, Duncan just,
I found out.
Duncan just, Duncan just, Mr. Duncan just, take the prank, Duncan just, I'll book you in, and Mr. Duncan just,
I have one.
Duncan just, takes the prank, Duncan just,
I found out.
Duncan just, hold it right there.
You did give him one.
Mr. Duncan is
My own money is bothering me. I have one for everything. Kevin McAllister, a TV. Word of our highly nutritious. You did give him one.
Mr. Duncan is
My own money is bothering me. I have one for everything. Kevin McAllister, a TV. Turtle dove, yeah.
Mr. Duncan is
My own money is bothering me. I have one.
Pardon me, sir. Would you happen to have a Walther PDP?
But of course.
May I have one?
Everyone may have one. In fact, I encourage all able-bodied individuals of legal age to have one.
Why is that?
With its revolutionary ergonomics, its super-terrain slide serrations, and brand new performance duty trigger, it's simply the best option out there. Plus, it's cool as hell.
Well, yes, that's all quite nice, but may I have one now, please?
You may have one whenever you so desire. Driver, move along. Work for it. Walther, one of life's finest firearms. Try it. You'll buy it.
If you want to wage a war against the bad ideas out there, like the far left's ideology, the insanity that's being pushed on us, we've got to be very, very specific and laser beam focused on where the actual enemy is. Where is the actual nest of snakes? If you've got a sickness somewhere in your body, you want to target that sickness. You don't want to just blast the entire body with everything.
Off limits.
It's a shorter sip because I'm not breathing properly.
No.
Before you go out, there's no speaker, right?
No.
Comment below if you guys have had this thing going through this. I'm sure there's probably COVID and something else.
Right.
But now it's been like 3-4 weeks, and I woke up today going, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I was holding a pillow over your
That is
face,
true.
so-
That is true.
Yeah. Dang it. Didn't work again.
One flew over
Those
the
lumpy
unfunny
pillows.
cuckoo's nest. Hey. Let's bring the rundown up because there's no way out of this. We have a Chippewa Falls update. Cap Morgan's going to be going to Wisconsin, to Wisconsin. And that's a big deal as far as they actually moved it to a larger auditorium. We'll talk about that. Donald Trump Jr. received a threat with a powdered substance because this is the state of politics. You know, the great replacement theory has been brought up quite a bit, but Joy Reid wants you to have no more children. Of course, she has 3, and she says that having children is akin to supporting slavery. And this is something really big. For the first time that I know of in modern American history, modern politics, building a wall is supported by a majority of Americans.
Yeah.
Remember I told you that was kind of a behind closed doors winning issue in 2016? Now it is an out in the open winning issue across the board. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, when pulled together. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep your foot on the gas because that tells you that people around you are starting to understand. Reality is seeping in. You have a lot that you can do proactively to affect the future of this country right now. This is the time. It's a good day. This is good news. And I'm already winded. All right, if you see this at any point today, I can't breathe. It's like I forgot how to breathe in while talking. Head on over to Rumble. I almost said YouTube.
Why would you do that?
If you want to know, just watch the show. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern here. Captain Morgan, number 2. How are you looking forward to Wisconsin?
I am. I'm looking forward to it. They had to move it. I will get to it in just a second, but I'm very excited about tonight, getting on the road here. I gotta leave halfway through the show.
I know you do.
So I'm just going to have to be like,
Good.
bye.
Right.
Hey, let's keep it nice in chat when I'm gone.
That isn't so eventful that you need to foreshadow. You can just leave.
Yes.
I did for sure.
We'll be fine. In third chair. You hear this. You love him. You thank him for his service. He's going to be at the Funny Bone in Des Moines, Iowa, Friday, March 1st. Mr. Firestine, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here with the crew.
Staying right here.
Yeah, I stay with the ship,
Yes.
like some captains.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, come on.
That is kind of crappy, though, to sign up for that. I have to go down with the ship?
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
What if it's like not my fault? Like, oh, the engineering department screwed up. Guys, I'm dying. Everybody else get in the lifeboats.
Especially, if everyone else is just safe and there's room. They're like, come on.
Yeah.
Nope.
Can't
I
do it.
insist.
Like, sorry, I have to leave 4 children fatherless and a woman a widow because someone in Steerage lit some cherry bombs in the toilet.
Tell my wife I loved her.
Yeah, but I'm not happy with my life's decisions. All right. Speaking of bad decisions, the Chippewa Falls School that we talked about, their school board, they just keep making life worse for themselves. So the meeting of the school board is tonight. This very sit tonight. And they moved it to a larger auditorium. We called you to action yesterday. Keep that up there. It is at 7 p.m. Central, where if you are a parent of a student, right, we had this would-be shooters manifesto that outlined who, what, where, when, why, and the student was put on suspension, and none of the parents were notified when they were targeting Christians and jocks and pretty girls, and a lot of parents. The outrage, I should say, the outpouring of support for parents and people in the community has been overwhelming. And if you are a member of this community, not just a parent of a student, but this school district, this community, and it affects you, you say, what can I do? You often ask us that. Well, today there's two things. If you're in this area of Wisconsin, go and make your voices heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And out there publicly today, if you are in the United States at large, right now, you watching, listening, this poll should be a wind. Should be a wind in your sails right now. Go out and have this conversation regarding immigration, regarding the crisis, regarding the border, building a wall with everyone you can, because the momentum is in your favor. So let me just bring this back up for you. The manifesto, just to reiterate here, I guess to recap, this is a portion of it. It says, this will be the next Columbine. I will kill the most people I can by using explosives that I will make myself. And the problems that I will face will be worth it after I kill all the effing jocks and those effing preppy S-headed effing girls.
Lots of,
Yeah, I know. I read the original one without censoring it, so you can go and see it in its full context. They need to die, and they will go burn in hell, and I will be, unknown word, and that is when I will kill myself and I will go to the void, because that's what I believe. The administration decided that this was not important enough to tell the parents. This student was still a danger, and at large, and the superintendents, I can't remember, superintendent, principal, multiple different people have been involved at this point. And they tried to gaslight. Yeah. They said, oh, this is just clickbait.
Right.
We did what we needed to do. You know they didn't. Make your voice heard. Gerald Morgan is going to be their CEO in Chippewa Falls tomorrow.
Absolutely. Tonight, not tomorrow.
Tonight
at the high school.
You're leaving today.
Yeah, absolutely. They doubled down, and this is the problem. We should be celebrating a win. We're not. They didn't notify parents. They failed, and the parents are not happy. We've never seen this kind of outpouring of support from parents on an issue like this, and we've got some people that have been doing this for a very long time, and they're surprised.
Yes.
So it's going to be very interesting tonight.
Well, it's just like Lakey. What was Lakey's last name? Who was we just talked about yesterday?
The student that was murdered.
Riley.
Lakey Riley.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lakey Riley was killed, and it's a really tough pill to swallow when they're killed by someone who has no business being here. That's the government failing you. It's a really tough pill to swallow when your children are put in danger by the people who are charged with their safety, abandoning their post. That's a much tougher scenario to accept. Life happens. I get it. Tragedy happens. This is not that. And by the way, this is the case with a lot of mass shootings. This is the case with a lot of violence that occurs at large. And we'll even discuss that as it relates to Dr. Phil in The View and their outrage, where he talked about the mental health crisis that we created with COVID.
Yep.
He talks about the issue with sex trafficking at the border. And the answer should be absolutely. Where are the people who say common ground? Let's find common ground on stopping the child sex trafficking. Let's find common ground on when someone doesn't just show red flags, as in Chippewa Falls, but a plan, a manifesto, and the materials to create bombs and weapons, notifying parents. Remember after 9/11? Remember how unified we were?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone hated George W. Bush, but everyone said, hey, you know what? This is a time where we have to come together as a family, as a team, the United States of America. If you can't do that now, when someone is planning to murder your children, and the administration knows about it, and even if they stop it, not letting you know what takes a village, how can you not let the village know? And none of this happens without your support. You can send your, if you don't join Mug Club at louderwithcreditor.com/Mug Club, you can send your tips to lwctips@protonmail.com and send in some stories. And it takes a lot of time to track these down and cross our T's, dot our I's. Have yet to lose any type of lawsuit. So come at us, bros and bitches.
Not on.
Yes.
All right. Real quick, we're having trouble connecting to the YouTube stream, so it's just been buffering. Not sure why it's not going out there, but we're going to Rumble and Mug Club right now.
Okay. So does that mean we need to pause the stream and get it going out?
No, I think we just continue at this point.
All right. We'll just continue. Social people out there, Mission Control, let people know on YouTube that we don't like them anyway.
I just talked to him last night. I wonder if this is a result of that conversation.
Did you talk to the one who's used by the higher-ups? Oh, you have to be careful. Yeah. We have to be nice. All right.
Well, we're not going there right now, so we'll never see this.
Thought they'd kill. Yeah, exactly. You have no idea what happens outside the little world. Right. YouTube, little, 19 billion users.
What do you mean?
Let's go to Don Jr. here receiving a death threat. Now, look, I'm kind of surprised, I guess, that this was a story because, this has happened many times with us here to some degree. However, this is the state of politics, and no one on the left calls for civility. What they really mean is shut up and take it. Mm-hmm. They only call for civility if they think that they're losing. You don't see the same calls for civility right now when Joe Biden is president. It's, hey, shut up. Hey, Spotify, you got to get rid of Joe Rogan.
Right.
Hey, YouTube, you have to censor. Hey, we need to have a disinformation. What was it? Disinformation board?
Like a Ministry of Truth.
Ministry of Truth, effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to civility? What happens to civility when Donald Trump Jr. receives an envelope with a death threat and white powder? Here's the story.
A letter containing an unidentified white powder was delivered to the home of Donald Trump Jr. in Florida on Monday. The letter prompted a response from emergency crews, including a hazmat
The back
team.
of his head, though, is greased
spokesperson for
lightning.
the former president's son confirmed the incident, saying that the test results
I'm jealous of his head of hair.
identified the white substance were inconclusive.
Though if his father's any
But
indication,
officials
it'll-
on the scene did not believe it was deadly.
Matter of time,
According
Don.
to the Associated Press, Donald Trump Jr. opened the letter in his home office, and along with the white substance, it also contained a death threat. The Palm Beach Sheriff's Office is investigating the matter in conjunction with the U.S. Secret Service.
What?
Wasn't the powder the death threat? Like, gosh,
Yeah,
why
I
did
mean-
you have to write a note? Oh, by the way, in case my message is not clear
Yeah.
enough with the powder,
In case
I
you're-
want to kill you.
In case your nasal passage is clogged. Here we go. I'll get you another way.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, it's a bit redundant, but okay.
So it's being analyzed, not believed to be deadly, just to be clear, the powder. But let me give you a little bit of a history here. In 2018, Donald Trump Jr.'s then wife, Vanessa, was taken to the hospital after opening an envelope with a suspicious substance in it. There's a 2018 letter, and it was a threat sent by this insane-looking Massachusetts man, Daniel Frisiello. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Doesn't matter. Just look at the face. It tells you all you need to know.
Look at this masshole. That's awesome.
Looks like a character from Wall-E.
They just float. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
They haven't gotten out of their chair. They're fossilized into it.
Like, please smile.
That's such a long face.
I know.
It's like, I'm a fat guy, but that's like that guy's face is like that.
That's like a before photo for Chris Christie.
That's a
tough to
that's
do.
a zucchini right there.
Did the flash not work for the mugshot?
Yeah, he's going for the John Travolta mid-'90s dramatic movie poster.
He's got
Face
two
off.
black guys.
He's starring in the movie Bacon Grease.
Yes. We're back to grease jokes because, the hair. Hey, we actually do, by the way. We've had quite a bit of this.
Yeah.
And all kidding aside, we don't talk about it a whole lot because if you talk about it, you'll get more copycats. But we do have our own in-house protocol for dealing with suspicious mail.
Yeah.
Just to be safe. We're very thorough. And we have actually the contents of the Trump Jr. letter. To many, they're unknown.
Yeah. But
we have a copy right here. So I'm going to read it to you. This is the first, not on YouTube today. It says, Dear Don, it's me, Hunter. Okay. Your old bunkmate from Lost Promises Summer Camp for Neglected Sons. I know it's been a hard year so far, so I thought you could use a little pick-me-up. Besides, Dad's bosses said I have to go sober until after the election, and I don't want to let this... Well, fentanyl's scratched out. Nose candy, go to waste. Have fun, tell Ivanka. I said, what's up, girl, Hunter B. Well, you know what?
He's trying to reach out.
I miss the days of Gerald Ford. Where politics was classy. I was trying to think of any example. It was like the good old days where politics were civil. You can't think of any.
No.
I mean, I guess Gerald Ford. I don't think anyone has said in the last 20 years, like, I hate Gerald Ford.
He was inconsequential, though.
Yeah, he was.
That's the reason. It's not because he was a nice guy. And people are like, oh, it was just nice. It's like, Gerald Ford, oh, yeah, he was president. You're right.
He was a nice guy. He didn't even want to be vice president.
Who's this now?
Yeah, exactly. You should see his museum or the library
Fantastic.
in Grand Rapids. It's shaped like a slice of pizza. The front of it is just a few things, and then the back there's an Elvis exhibit. You know what the hell's going on here?
Well, we had extra space. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Here's our crafts and services here. You can find some refreshments. It's about 40% of the Gerald Ford Presidential Library.
Wasn't a big reader.
No. And other presidential son news, by the way, Hunter Biden says that he is staying sober so that Donald Trump will be defeated. This is true.
He sees his sobriety as related
terrible
to the fate
shot.
of the country. Basically, what he said is that he thinks about the consequences of failure.
He looks high in all of them.
It's the ultimate test for a recovering addict because he knows if he relapses, it would be devastating for his dad while his dad is running for re-election and trying to keep Trump out of the Oval Office.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure. Makes a guy want to do some crack.
I can't handle it.
It's a lot of look, Hunter, I know that the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and it's a lot to ask to not smoke crack.
Yeah. Let's give him a round of applause. What a hero.
Yeah.
Look,
you did it.
I know we all have our cross to bear. It's
true.
Other people get to smoke portions of the wall or a nice soft Gouda. We have to hold you to a different standard, Hunter.
Take one for the team.
Yeah, like banging your brother's widow.
He said he's going to promptly get back on the cocaine train.
Yes.
In December.
Yeah.
He said, snow is falling, the election's over.
Yes.
Woo! Thanks, Dad.
He's DC sober.
Yeah. He hopes his dad loses so he can go back.
Your service was important, Josh, but today we thank Hunter.
Yes.
Thank you, Hunter.
Yes, Hunter. Thank you, Hunter.
True hero.
He is Kang. So Hunter said this. He said, I have something much bigger than even myself at stake. Dick. We are in the middle than even myself. Think about that. I have something much bigger than even myself. Oh, I don't know. What could that be? Thanos?
I am the biggest thing. Can you imagine something even bigger?
Can you imagine something bigger than my inflated widow banging ego?
Galactus.
We are in the middle of a fight for the future of democracy. Yes, and it hinges on you not smoking a brie.
What's the state of American politics when it depends on Hunter Biden?
Ugh. And when he heard about Trump Jr.'s white powder, he said, gimme, I need. And then he restrained himself because he holds himself to a higher standard.
No, he was restrained.
In a weirder Biden quote, Joe said that the key to a happy marriage is good sex. Yeah, he was dispensing this advice to Jill's horror. This is true. You can go. All references are available at loudscutter.com. This comes from Daily Mail, so it's probably true. I don't know. But it's a legitimate publication. They say it's true.
Yes.
So he said that he and Jill keep things spicy in the bedroom with foreplay, role play, and even watching sexy erotica together, citing 50 Shades of Cocoon.
Oh my God. Wilford Brimley? Well, hold on. I think his quote was actually truncated. He said that the key to a happy marriage is good sex, whether or not I'm there.
Yes.
So
he said the key is a good mailman.
Milkman? They still do that, right?
He probably still has one.
He still thinks that's a thing.
He comes every fortnight.
Oh, that's I don't know how far.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
I think it's 2 weeks. So this is actually the second in 6 years for Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah.
This is the second letter in 6 years. At the same time, the fate of our republic may hinge on Hunter Biden staying sober and Joe Biden not dying during sex. That's the state of our country.
That's the way to go. If you're going to go, just give it a whirl.
Yeah, exactly. Clockwise.
Smile. Well, no, you can't. That's not possible. For him, he'd break a hip. Come on.
Audio people, this is just uncomfortable for you. That's about my only move.
You're missing out.
It goes over very poorly. Now,
you got to teach me that move later.
I do, yes.
Ow!
Yeah, I absolutely do if you want to die alone. Let's go on to Joy Reid here. Joy Reid, now I know what you're thinking. Idiot, sure. But she said yes, and I want to I want to discuss this because, of course, if you ever use the term, the Great Replacement Theory, you're immediately accused of being racist. But really what you're talking about is the replacement of natural-born citizens in the United States.
Yeah.
Also, some of the terminology might be a little bit confusing because the replacement rate, I'll just say sort of sustained birth rate, but the actual term is replacement birth rate, meaning you need to replace the previous generation if you want to have a sustainable country. Yeah. So if you hear that, don't go, oh, David Duke. Just understand where we're coming from here. And this also applies to rules for thee and not for me. People like Joy Reid think that they can have children. They should have children, but you should not. And here's the thing. For her to have children or for her friends to have children, it must be virtuous. If you support having more children, it means you support slavery. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is that a straw man? No. Good thing I have the clips. She said yesterday that the United States had enough people and there's no need. How do you know that they want you? They want you cold, alone, renting, and without family. Well, here's how you know. Joy Reid says, you don't need any more kids.
The United States has a population of north of 327 million people.
And?
Why do we need more kids? Are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids? why does the state of Alabama need more kids? More kids for what? There was a time when the state of Alabama absolutely needed more kids because, Alabama was a slave state.
Pause. I don't look. Explain this to me like I'm 3. You know what? Like I'm 5. Explain this to me like I'm a human being with rational thought. Because slavery. Hold on a second. What are you saying? Are you saying that white slaveholders wanted to have more children so that they would outnumber the slaves and there would be no way for the slaves to support the economy? Or are you saying that they were standing by with their old Samuel Colts saying, hey, slaves, you better start banging because they wanted to have more slaves who would outnumber themselves and overrun them as the slaveholders? Or are you saying that they just wanted everyone to screw like rabbits and let the cards fall where they may, leading to an inevitable civil war 20 years, just one generation down the line? You can just say slavery, but show your work, because none of those equations, as far as make any sense. Let's continue with the clip. And by the way, her wig cap is moving back.
You know what she looks like? You guys ever seen American Dad?
Yes.
One of Roger's costumes, one of his characters.
Like Demolition Man.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? Look at that. Tell me that.
Only I get to have children because I'm fertile. You look at me wrong, I get pregnant.
Let's continue.
Alabama needs more kids because you think that those populations will include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough. If you kick out the immigrants like a lot of y'all want to do, and you could make them do the work that the migrants are doing
kids for
now?
poor people.
Because that kind of sounds slavery-ish.
Oh. Hold on a second. Can you rewind that clip just a little bit? Just a little bit, because that last portion also makes no sense. No. Play those last 20 seconds.
Immigrants like a lot of y'all want to do,
and you
a
little
bit
more.
Them
a little bit more.
Include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough. If you kick out the immigrant slave state.
Okay,
are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids because you think that those populations will include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough?
Pause. So hold on a second. You're saying that the people who are against, right, what they believe is the termination of life and destroying already fertilized embryos, that they want to prevent the deaths of babies because they're trying to prevent more people from being destitute and on the public dole? That makes no sense. You would be a eugenicist, like a neo-Nazi, or yourself. The argument holds no water. Her positions are entirely indefensible, and it's nonsensical. This is what happens when you have somebody who has a program who nobody watches, with no business being on that kind of a platform, who's never had to rationalize their own thoughts. So hold on a second. We increased the population of this country because slavery, which makes no sense. Then we wouldn't have enough slaves to support it. Or you increase the slave population, in which case they overrun you and you cease to actually be slaveholders, but you become slaves yourselves, just like you saw with the West African slave trade. Okay, and then they want to protect unfertilized embryos because they want fewer people on the public dole who are destitute. Is it me? Comment below. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Are the destitute people the ones that are affording the IVF?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Who's able to afford the IVF? I don't understand.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, of course...
Has she never been poor before?
Right. Yeah. On the flip side, you can go back to Sanger and the person who created Planned Parenthood and deliberately set up shop for Planned Parenthood in black areas because she believed that they were a drain on society and wanted to see a mass holocaust of black babies, which, mission accomplished, just took a few decades. Nothing this woman says would pass a basic Debate 101 course. She wouldn't be able to maintain a position.
We look for like macro points in a lot of the stories that we do. Like, how does this affect people? And she look like she's looking at every story going, racism. I've got to find racism. And then she's like, hey, slavery. Is this leap of faith where somebody's betting she has to throw racism into a story and make it work, and she wins a bet like $10? All right, I threw racism into IVF and it worked, guys.
Yeah, it worked.
Like, I don't know what the hell is going on here. This doesn't make any sense at all.
Now let me explain it to you. New country, huge country, right? You're talking about, think of England, think of the United States. Think of the continent of North America. We need to populate this country. And so people, of course, before you had federal government, before you had state government, municipal government, they said the only building block for a society where we can be a free society, which requires a moral society, is the nuclear family. That has to be the central building block. So let's go forth and encourage people to have nuclear families, to be mothers and fathers. Has nothing to do with slavery. I don't understand where, well, you guys can comment below. I'm sure I'm missing something that's very obvious. You're a positive heckler.
Is that what's happening?
But I don't like your tone. I had that one time. I had a guy who showed up who was drunk, but he was like, hey. I'm like, what? I'm like, would you shut the hell up? He goes, I just love what you do, bro. I'm like, shut up.
You're keeping me from doing what I do.
It throws you off your game.
Thank you very much.
So she was responding, to be clear, maybe this provides some context to Alabama.
I love what you do, man.
Senator Tommy Tuberville's.
Keep killing it, Stephen.
Tommy Tuberville's comments about IVF, where he said, we need to have more kids. We need to have an opportunity to do that. And I thought this was the right thing to do. That's a hard one. It really is because, again, you want people to have that opportunity to have children. So hold on. Maybe if I'm getting this right now with Joy Reid. Is she saying that slaves were having sex with their masters? I don't get it. I don't.
I think what she's saying is that slavery is okay if immigrants are doing it.
I guess. Okay, that makes sense. Throw a few El Salvadorians in and call it a day.
People get paid under minimum wage than get paid a fair wage.
And by the way, on the IVF thing, too, this is something that a lot of people misconstrue out there. Like, we're talking about fertilized embryos, right? This is not a difficult position for pro-life people to understand. An egg is not separate and unique DNA. Neither is a sperm. A fertilized embryo is. That DNA is now separate from the father and the mother. It determines everything from eye color, height, to male pattern baldness, to birth defects. That fertilized embryo is a life, and that was your child one day. Imagine thousands of your children on a shelf, frozen in time, like Minority Report.
Yeah, exactly. And Republicans have come out in support saying, no, people have the right to use IVF. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is there are certain instances, for example, if you have a bunch of fertilized embryos and a divorce happens or death happens, or something comes up, those are not just whose property are those, right? Can somebody just choose to discard those if somebody in the relationship feels like, hey, wait a minute, no, those are kids.
Right.
And the other person's like, no, they're not. They're just, excess material.
They belong to the streets.
Well, exactly. But it brings up some very interesting, difficult questions to figure out what's going on. And Republicans have been very clear, like, hey, we want people to do IVF. I know people who've done IVF that have had great kids because of it. And it's a struggle sometimes.
And there's a way to do it ethically where you only fertilize the embryos that you implant.
Right.
Most people don't do it that way because it's far more expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I had people come to me and discuss that. And I said, well, no, that's a line in the sand. Of course I won't fertilize countless embryos. But you can fertilize, at that point, you can fertilize an embryo and implant it. But the labor and cost intensive portion is the implant is actually the fertilization. So they want to fertilize a bunch and just see which ones stick. Yeah. It's a cost cutting measure. So that's something that conservatives sometimes maybe get wrong, depending on where you line up. But if you line up that a fertilized embryo is where life begins, or conception, right? Fertilization, there is a way to do it. And these people are not saying we want to ban all of that. They are talking about saving lives, and of course, as it relates to rights to personhood and parents.
Yeah,
it's important. This also brings us to Joy Reid, since I don't know if you know this. She has the children. Rules for thee, not for me. All right. Let's go back through this because I really want to torture you today. Rules.
Slavery.
Rules for
Slavery
thee.
was okay. No. You said it.
Joy Reid says that you, in case you've forgotten, because I played it 4 minutes ago, you don't need to have more children.
The United States has a population of north of 327 million people. Why do we need more kids?
Rules for me, if I happen to be Joy Reid.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like that when we're doing a sketch and my wig cap pulls up. You feel very exposed. It's like, you ever have in your underwear rides up above your jeans? Like, I don't want people to see this. Yes! It's the same thing when your wig cap pulls back, only that's her every day. So,
fantastic.
Rules for me, Yakuza knows. We've had the wig caps pull up.
For sure.
She has 3 children.
Oh.
And by the way, God love her. No problem, just to be clear. No problem with you having children. I think it's a great thing. Hey, you know why? Because it's one of life's greatest joys, and I have no right to rob you of that joy because I'm not you.
You're not Joy.
Think about it. My body, my choice. Sure, okay. Well, again, this goes, I see you're making the lazy argument as it relates to abortion because you are the people who want to control every single choice we make as far as what food we can eat, the size of our big gulps, what cars we can drive, what schools we can send our children to, and how many children we can have. You say that we're inconsistent because the only time where we want to control personhood is someone else who you would be killing. It's my body. Do you have 20 fingers? Do you have 20 toes? If it's a boy, do you have a penis and a vagina? Do you have 2 brains? Do you have 2 hearts? You're not a fish. Shut up. It's just like people get tripped up. No, they're inconsistent on right here. Let's just compare this. My body, my choice. All right. My penis and my woman's vagina, her eggs, my sperm, our choice. No.
Wait.
You can't have children. Okay, you say we can't have children. I'm saying you can't kill them. So, Reid loves posting also, by the way, about her children on social media. Great. Sure, a lot of moms do. Won't send me post about my children on social media because I think it's irresponsible just for private measures, but I'm glad that she loves her children.
That is neat.
Civilization, the United States of America. A society needs about 2.1 births per woman. Currently, the fertility rate in the United States is 1.6 births per woman.
Yeah. You know the groups that are leading the way here? So we've got Native Hawaiians and kind of the...
You mean Pacific Islanders?
Pacific Islander
well,
people.
Yeah,
they
you
do
can't
both,
miss those
right? So
eggs. That's the size of a barn.
Exactly right. And then we have Hispanic and Black. The white people and Asians are towards the very bottom of this. Right? Of that 1.66, we're below the average of 1.66. I think we're like 1.65 as of 1 or 2 years ago. And it's really important because you end up with big problems and it's not just society, it's culture.
Yeah.
How do you sustain a culture and society, a way of living, a way of life, ideals, principles, values? You have to have this kind of birth rate. And if you don't, you have a major, major problem.
Right.
We have that problem right now. And Joy Reid is saying, why do you need more kids?
Right.
And so you stay alive, stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So put a finer point on it.
Yeah. We'll get to some examples of people who don't do this right. But this was a problem in 2007 when I watched a video on this. And we were barely above the minimum 2.1 because of Hispanic birth rates being higher. Yeah. They carried everybody up to make sure that we were. Now, in just a short period of time, we're well below it.
And by the way, that's for 2 reasons. Number 1, Hispanic women are very fertile. Number 2, the volume. Okay? The volume. Well, they are a passionate people. They sell cars with tits. What? White people, if you are in a monogamous, loving relationship, you are married, stop with the guilt sex. Just look to the Hispanics. Do what they do.
But she should love this. Black people are having more kids than white people.
That's also a volume
Long
game.
term, that would be a great thing for her because then you make up more of the population, Joy, and you can never be put into slavery again, right? Because that's your major concern about every single issue you hear about every day.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, she's weird.
She's weird.
She's weird.
Listen here.
Ew, Joy Reid cooties.
Buster Brown.
For some reason, I would be insulted if I heard that from Gerald.
Yeah, I would too.
You're weird.
Because
Gerald.
You're weird.
You really mean it, don't you?
Yeah, I thought about it.
You're a strange person. Now, here's the thing, too. Here's the thing.
Wow.
I watched Ted Turner. What did you see, a Cuban woman? Did you see a Cuban woman fertility?
No, somebody showed him a boob.
Yeah.
He looked at the Latin Weather Channel.
Today it is going to be very cold.
There's also
Let's go down to El Dorado, Chrysler, y Ford. These deals are crazy. Show me your tits. Hey!
There's also an epidemic of men walking around without umbrellas on obviously rainy days. They don't pay attention to the weather report. They're looking at the girl, right? So 3.4 Mormons. Mormons, what are you doing? Those are giant families. 3.
They're boning.
Good.
Gerald?
I saw.
Good.
No. I understand. I'm just saying. Like, whoa.
You never met a Mormon?
Got it right.
They get it on.
They are also kings of dirty talk.
They got moving companies to fill positions in.
I'm going to peel off that holy underwear. Now, it's a PG-13.
Whoa.
That's why I said peel.
Whoa.
And not tear.
Can't tear it.
It's consensual.
Respectfully.
Mormons don't. Come on. It's a joke. It's okay. Take it. Look, it's fine. And by the way, I'm sure you have great dirty talk about the holy underwear.
A lot of
it adds a taboo. It adds a taboo element.
It's like a lot of bicycles to build at Christmas. Mountain bikes.
Yeah.
What is up with that? Why do they love mountain bikes so much?
Know.
Here's such weirdos.
Another example, baby, if we had our own planet together.
Oh yeah, what would you do to me in front of other wives?
I'm going to baptize you for the dead. Whoa. I was hoping to get the music going.
Sorry.
Hit it. Hit it.
There you go, ladies.
It's Joseph Smith. All right.
They call me a god.
You want a date with that man.
I am Brigham Young, baby. All right.
We love you, Mormons. Keep it up. I'm just saying. 3.4.
Yes, this is encouragement. Mormons, more of you.
We love you, Provo. Keep owning.
A lot of good-looking women in Provo, by the way. I fully understand that
Yes,
statistic. I was there. I was like, I just can't. And there goes another. What? It's everybody? All right.
Swing, swing.
So, I watched Ted Turner at the Cancun Climate Summit. This was back when it was still the Kyoto Protocol before it became the Paris
Climate Accord.
It was the Montreal Agreement, the Kyoto Protocol, the Paris Accord. It's all the same thing. I watched Ted Turner support to applause China's one-child policy. This is the problem with neo-environmentalism. It is anti-human and it is anti-God. You replace God with Gaia, this secular version of God, Mother Earth. And then you use the lie that population is the problem for Earth. You basically end up looking like you end up looking at humans like pestilence. So I've watched that for a very long time. Elon Musk has been very helpful in saying, no, the way through is more babies, is innovation. You're going to have more people creating cures for cancer. You're going to have more people creating new, electric vehicles that hopefully don't run on coal and gas someday. But the principle remains. So we also have a problem here where not only personally your family units, but as a society, birth rates are very important. Having a birth rate below 2.1, it creates this upside down pyramid. You have too many old people. You have not enough young people, obviously. Jeez. It's not just total population. So to give you an idea, Social Security, and you'll have people say, everyone's been talking about Social Security for a long time. It's not this disaster that... I don't know if you know this. The money for Social Security is not necessarily coming from Social Security. You know that, right? They're just pulling money from wherever. So when Social Security was created, do you know how many workers per retirees there were? 159.4 to 1.
That's way higher than we thought.
And by the way, I had to double check that. Go to loudearthcrowder.com. You can check. We have the PDF there. This comes straight from the government.
Wow.
Were these the baby boomers?
No, this is the. Would this have been the Great Generation, or I guess kind of?
It's before that.
It's before that because they would have been fighting it. What's the name of the generation before that?
This is the holy crap. We had World War I, the outbreak of the plague, and also the freaking depression. Get me out of here generation.
This is Franz Ferdinand was a dick
the
generation.
silent generation. Yeah. The really pissed off and angry generation.
So it was 159.4 to 1. When they said, hey, we're going to take care of our older population, well, you have a one. I was going to say a ratio. Well, the ratio is 159 to 1. Let's round it up. 160. Go with me.
160
to 1. 2022, you have 2.8 workers per retiree.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Think about that.
Insane.
And that's going to go lower. You don't need more kids. You're racist. So you have, as it relates to your own personal happiness, and I have no business telling you that you can or cannot have children or how many you have. And isn't it beautiful? It's an entirely consistent position to maintain where I just say, hey, yeah, go nuts. Just make sure you support yourself and your own family. Don't suckle at the government teat. Now it doesn't matter what race you are. It's an entirely defensible position because it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with autonomy and your right to what? Pursue happiness. Now, this is not a new problem, to be clear. China, this is a big reason that they're a paper tiger in a lot of ways. They've been dealing with these effects for a while, but certainly right now.
China's working age population already started to contract around 2015 or 2016. In the next 3 decades until 2050, the working age population can further drop by 300 million. In the longer term, we have fewer people working but supporting more people in the retirement. Less demand, there's less output. We're just entering such a vicious cycle.
Not enough Tai Chi in the world. Thankfully, Haley offered to help with China and their demographic issues.
I told them that if they would do this, that South Carolina would wrap their arms around them and take care of them. I now officially work for you. There is nothing that you could need that we won't make sure that we deliver.
That sounded pretty romantic, too.
Yeah, Nikki Haley, wrap your arms around me.
I don't think those are the words.
It's a
Ching chong,
version.
ching chong.
It's the Beijing version.
That's Cantonese.
Yeah, I know. But remember when Rosie O'Donnell got canceled for saying ching chong, ching chong? I just said it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh. You are evil.
Come at him.
Not a particularly sexual people when they dance, the Chinese. See, like the samba, the Brazilians, right? The salsa. The Chinese are like, get a dragon head.
That's not true. I've seen the Jabberwockies.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. They gave me a Jabberwocky.
The key to good lama is stiff hip. Keep very stiff. No swivel.
All right. I don't trust China. That's it.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
And I know what you're saying.
I've never seen that.
Really? What? Yeah. It's been a while.
That's awesome.
Hit the like button if you want us to bring that one back into rotation.
Yeah.
We used to, every now and then we get on a kick and then we forget about it. It's new again.
That guy, can I see that again?
Yes. Yeah. Let's see it again.
Of course.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
Yeah, I thought I recognized him. That guy works at Subaru.
Yes.
The guy works at my local Subaru.
It's actually a she.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, don't say.
Well, ma'am.
It's what makes
Excuse
a Subaru.
No. XI.
A Subaru.
Oh, XI.
By the way, I get upset sometimes because no matter what I do, we will never do anything as perfect as Gangnam Style. That's the perfect online.
Oh, man, that guy nailed it.
Yeah, he did nail it. It was a reach, but we made it.
She's so serious. The wig made all the difference.
It did make all the difference. Yeah.
I pulled it together.
You're like, who is that? I don't understand. Oh, it's Joy Reid. Okay. So Joy Reid, just to recap this, and I'm getting very near the end of this now. Joy Reid does believe that the average American shouldn't have more children, but she has 3 kids. And of course, many leftists do have large families. They live as though they are conservatives in their personal lives because they understand that that is actually the root of true happiness. And they're happy to import cheap labor from other countries while creating a border crisis like we have never seen. They just don't want you to do anything about it. They never want you to do anything that is within your power or your control. Go to Chippewa Falls tonight. Hey, talk with everyone you meet about the border crisis. Have kids. Have a family. Espouse those values. Mm-hmm. This is why they want to silence you. They want to silence you because when you get your points of view, your ideas in front of other people, guess what? They win. Do you know how I know? Because those are the ideas, those are the values that Joy Reid tries to live by in her own life. All right. Let's move on. Did I miss anything? No? Okay. Because I know you got to get going relatively soon.
I'll leave when I need to. No need to foreshadow, Stephen.
So...
Get out!
Speaking of foreshadowing, that was The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. If you guys don't remember that thriller, it was like a crazy nanny who wanted her own children. They walk in, and she's breastfeeding the mom's baby. But it's still not anywhere near as messed up as the end of Grapes of Wrath. Everyone talks about it like it's a classic. Yeah. You know that book ends with the man cradled in his mother's bosom being breastfed by her?
See, now Yakuza's got you. Mama.
Don't play the Blue Velvet clip.
No.
Oh, no.
So
the Game of Thrones clip.
What? This is a graphic novel, or
yes?
We're gonna pick this up.
Yeah, exactly. It's an anime.
That's my favorite category.
Yes. Yeah. I bet. Grapes of Wrath. It's a weird book.
Grapesofwrath.com.
I read it,
folks.
And at the end, I'm like, what the? What? This is the book everyone talks about?
This is worse than It.
This is really. Oh yeah.
Almost.
It sucks. Also, what was up with that weird kid orgy?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's how they maintain their powers.
Yes, to find their way out of the sewers.
Yes.
Yeah. Then
you can.
Yeah, then they all bang each other.
Yeah. Hey, Stephen King. You're not a pedophile, are you? Why would you say that? Because you're writing a book about children having an orgy to maintain powers, and it is completely incongruent with the rest of this It story.
And then you
prude.
And then you ask someone to make a movie out of it, and then that wasn't good enough. So you're like, let's make another movie out of it.
Yes.
Eventually, that scene will get in. I know.
Come on,
Eventually.
let's get those kids.
Yeah,
that's what Stephen King says.
That's the sequel. It's called Stick It.
I hate Stephen King. He's such a pussy.
He's a prick. Seriously, though, let me ask you this. This is a serious question. I get it, literary license, and I get that sometimes, context is more important than content. But there was no need. You know this. If you don't know this, in the book, in It, they all have sex with the one girl. They're all young in order to maintain their powers. Nowhere else did they have to do that. It just kind of comes up like, oh, I have to keep her powers to fight the clown. I guess we better all have sex with me.
And then the clown came back 20 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't work.
It must have been a horrible lay herald. Now, you're out there. Would you ever write a fiction novel and just shoehorn this in there? Or do you think, at the very least, it's a little weird?
Dude, I didn't read that book. I actually I read that book on audiobook.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so I didn't know it was coming up. No one ever told me about it. I hadn't heard this rumor, whatever. I'm like my young 20s. I'm working at UPS in like an office setting with all old women. I'm just sitting there, and I hear, and then they all start, and I'm like, what the?
Can I get this next day?
Can I get the worksheet number 4? I'm sorry, I was listening to some kid orgies.
Yeah.
I lost track of my work. Sorry about that.
Stephen King really hung me out to dry.
For some reason, when he did the read, his voice got really excited.
It did.
At that point.
Yeah.
The whole book was read by somebody else, and then that one scene.
Yeah, and I also thought it was distasteful that they fit in the erotic music.
Y'all all float down here, kids!
It's so weird.
Paper boat that shit. Now, last week I told you this, that winning issues for the right become winning issues for the country. Today's winning issues with the conservative base is tomorrow's winning issue with the country at large.
Yep.
Examples I gave you. Guns, 1994 assault weapons ban. Can't have that anymore. Not even close. The left has abandoned it. Freedom of speech. This is an issue where I don't know that more people have ever turned from the left outside of probably COVID. That was one, right?
Huge, yeah.
You couldn't speak about it. And then I saw so many suburban white women who saw their children affected say, all right, maybe I had the wool pulled over my eyes. And now today, for the first time definitively, there is a poll from Monmouth, which, by the way, not a bastion of conservatism, building the border wall.
Yeah.
Is a winning issue. Who'd have seen that coming? Where a majority of Americans support it, and an even greater majority see illegal immigration as a serious issue. I guess that brings us. Oh, I guess this is a.
Yeah, this is Carter called it.
Oh,
did it last week.
Come, let Zoltar tell you more.
I'm gonna hit the next pitch ball right past the flag.
We're gonna win the game. I guarantee.
So you tell me what I said.
Yeah, so last week you were addressing kind of specifically how the border would become a winning issue and is becoming a winning issue. It didn't really take long for your prediction to come true.
No.
Which is kind of nice, but here's the clip of what you said.
Today's conservative issues, today's issues that resonate with the conservative base are tomorrow's winning issues with society at large. So we see this, the exact reason Governor Abbott is so popular with Gen Z is because of his handling on the border. Now, Abbott hasn't been perfect in every respect, but on the border, he's been pretty damn conservative, pretty damn consistent, and the approval rating is through the roof. And now this comes from Monmouth today. For the first time, a majority of Americans support building a border wall. It's 53% to 46%. Keep that in context. Remember, they tried to attack Donald Trump. Their biggest weapon was racist, because he ran on the immigration issue in 2016. That's no longer a weak point. Now, I always said that was a big reason for the secret voter for Donald Trump. That was a big reason for a lot of the manufacturing sector supporting Donald Trump. Now, people out in the open. 53% saying we support building a border wall. And you know it's higher than that.
You know it's definitely higher than that. And by the way, under Trump, who was talking about this more than any other issue really that I can remember, other than obviously when COVID happened, it was never higher than 44.
Right.
This is a 9-point jump because of Vice President Joe Biden.
Yep.
Former Vice President. Fantastic job. You've got America on the right side of building a wall now.
Yes.
You're just that bad.
And but a huge portion of Americans, supermajority, I guess you would say, they actually see illegal immigration as a serious problem. That's 61% view it as very serious, and 23% view it as somewhat serious.
Jeez.
You're looking at 84% who believe it's at least somewhat serious or higher. I don't know what takes it from somewhat serious to very serious.
Somewhat serious is somebody who hasn't experienced it yet.
Yes.
That's it. Somewhat serious is somebody who lives in a nice city where they haven't showed up yet.
Yep. You're absolutely right. That's just like Joy Reid.
It just takes time.
Hasn't experienced,
just like you said,
the soullessness of being barren, right? And so you shouldn't have kids. Well, that's because you have the joy of children in your lives. And by the way, who are you to rob people of that joy? This is what happens with illegal immigration. And I'll tell you this. Look, let's just sort of draw some lines here, okay? A majority of Americans now support building a wall. 83% say this is an issue that needs addressing, illegal immigration specifically. You've never seen numbers like that. Now, we've talked about how for a lot of voters, there are closed-handed issues. Okay, you've seen a huge swing, immigration. For how many voters do you think that's a pretty firm closed-handed issue? They want someone who is going to do something. I would wager a lot. It's not like tax policy. It's not one of those issues, what are you going to do about the Federal Reserve? It's pretty clear because it affects a lot of people. All right, it's a closed-handed issue, and a majority of Americans support doing something about it because they view it as a serious problem. Let's be honest here. Let's look at this objectively. Out of anyone, let's even include all the Republican primaries and potential conspiracy theory Democrat candidates, who is the person who, even if they don't like him, Americans believe will be most firm on the immigration issue?
Yeah.
There's your secret vote.
By the way, in 2016, Trump won the secret vote 2-1.
Yep. 2-1.
It's going to be bigger this time, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be not so secret. If it's 53, I'd be willing to bet it's somewhere between 65 and 80 because there's a lot of people saying, hey, it's a very serious issue, illegal immigration. But no. I don't think we should build a wall. Well, hey, guess how you get those people, if they're being genuine, to build a wall? It would cost us $20 billion versus $150 billion per year.
And if it doesn't work, I'm willing to make that $20 billion sacrifice.
Yes.
To test it, to try it out.
To give it a whirl.
I'm willing to take a chance on the wall. If it's not going to work. They're going to dig under it. They're going to go over it. It's not. Well, then great. Then you win. They get in the country.
Yes. Exactly.
Look at that. And you prove me wrong.
Yep.
I'm so stupid.
Yes. I'm so stupid that I thought some kind of a barrier would act as a barrier.
Yeah. Walls
maybe just spend the little amount, build the wall, and then when it fails, because you're always right. When it fails, then you spend your hundreds of billions to not do anything else.
I know you almost said millions. I do that too.
I know.
Yeah.
Because it's just a rounding error with the government.
Well, it's because I am one of Joy Reid's kids.
Yes, exactly.
All right, boys, I'm out of here.
You have to go?
See you at Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
Well, hold on a second. Right before you leave, we just want to leave you on this note.
Okay.
Obviously, we have a border crisis like we've never seen before. It's happened in the last 3 years. And so why are these people leaving their countries and flooding our borders with no fear of consequence in record numbers? Ask them.
Would you have tried to do this when Donald Trump was president?
Definitely not. Definitely. We had the chance, the same violence that is going on today was there last year. We used to watch the news, and I definitely won't do this.
So did you come here because Joe Biden was elected president?
Basically.
Basically.
Before you leave, tell me about the truck giveaway.
The truck giveaway. So right now we've got 3 days left. Ford Raptor plus $10,000 cash. In cash, not cash. Whew. Every dollar is 10 entries to win. CrowderShop.com. And by the way, we've got some new designs out. Some of the stuff that we've been wearing, but also some new St. Patrick's Day designs.
Really?
Yes, for those of you who want to get drunk on St. Patrick's Day.
All right. Thank you, Gerald Morgan. You're going to Chippewa Falls at 7 p.m. Central tonight. The Chippewa Falls High School Auditorium, 735 Terrill Street, Chippewa Falls. They moved it to a bigger auditorium because of your response. Go out and meet them.
Bye, Gerald.
Don't bring them wine,
Gerald.
though.
You're weird.
Yeah.
Don't fire me.
Bring your powdered envelopes. This has been, I guess I called it.
Come, let Zoltar tell you more.
I'm going to hit the next pitch ball right past the flag. We're going to win the game. I guarantee.
I'm telling you guys, and I'm telling you what you're going to have is you're going to have the media saying, and Donald Trump focusing on I don't know, his rhetoric on the border. They're still going to try and paint him as racist. They have to when it's a losing issue. They have to go to an ism or an ist.
I know you called it, but you know who else called it for a need of a wall? China, like a couple thousand years ago.
True.
Yeah, they kind of saw it coming too.
That's because they had to deal with Mongolians.
Did it work?
Yeah, no. I think the 3 times it was breached, they bribed someone at the gates.
Well, it was worth a try.
Yeah, it was worth a try. Turns out instilling morality should have been part of your plan. I mean, it kind of worked. You can see it from space, so I hear.
They spent way too much time on that wall.
I know.
Was it like 500 years?
Yeah, you go and spend a couple centuries with the Mongols, and then tell me that it's not worth the effort.
Sure, got some Mexicans to build it.
Yes.
Idiots.
Well, I think their equivalent are Indians, because it's still Asia.
Ah, they're over there.
Yeah, they are. That's why I prefer Oriental. It makes more sense. When someone says Asian,
my favorite top ramen flavor.
Yes. They still label it that?
I think they call it soy now.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Good. Denigrate an entire nation of people by calling
I've been eating it still. My boobs have been getting bigger.
Really? You should be in the grapes of wrath, Brendan.
They're gonna install them on a car. Actually,
that's what.
Yeah.
I'm looking in your direction, Yakuza. You know how Josh eats ramen by himself?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Raymond? Robin or Raymond? Raymond's a man.
Right, Deborah! He's biting my arm!
Josh is eating me again.
I see beef broth there, Josh.
That's right.
But we really do need Gerald in this show sometimes, don't we? You see what happens when he's gone.
I'm just kidding. He keeps us in check.
I'm supposed to be in charge. This is like the Lost Boys imaginary food fight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He was like yelling at his phone right now. He's like, guys, get back on topic.
Get back on topic. All right. We'll go to Dr. Phil, and then we'll continue on Mug Club. So while we're talking about the illegal immigration issue, it's always funny to me to see reactions from media elites when they're simply confronted with things that a majority of Americans, agree with. So Dr. Phil was on The View. He discussed quite a few things, dropped some truth bombs. But one of the first things that he discussed, or certainly one of the first things that made the rounds, something we've talked about. Look, it's not, when they try and paint it as though it's just about the border and these people are seeking a better life, there are some people, sure. And of course your heart goes out to those people because they're raised or they've been born in crappier countries. Now, I know it's not really, again, a defensible position for the left because they say all countries and countries and cultures are created equal.
Yes.
However, that's not everybody. As you saw in our illegal grow farm video with marijuana and Chinese nationals, a lot of them are, just to recap this, just to bring this back, more slaves on earth now than ever in recorded history, over 40 million. Lots of them are sex slaves.
Winning.
Lots of child sex trafficking at the southern border. And Dr. Phil brought it up, and you could hear some people surprised.
I talked to the head of all the border guards down there, the head of the union. I asked him straight up, kids are coming over the border with numbers written on them, phone numbers and addresses. Do we check those out? He said, well, we call them. Is it possible that we're sending them into known prostitution rings or sweatshops? He said, it's not possible. It is absolute.
And just to be clear, I'm not the biggest fan of Dr. Phil.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's just there at the...
You're not a fan of me, Steve?
Thing is, I thought they were there as sex slaves, okay? And the reason I thought they had numbers on their arm and the man with the butcher knife thought it wasn't collecting for the Red Cross, right?
There's no way to tell if there's vaccinated blood or unvaccinated blood.
That's true.
Stuff.
We got to handle this problem. It's an issue.
It's hard out here for a man in a skullet, right?
What I just liked is he would always take the woman's side.
Skullet.
It doesn't matter what it was. He would always take the woman's side.
Not on The View.
It could be Carla Homolka.
Now, look, I know that you're pissed because she videotaped her lover killing her sister in her basement, and that was wrong of her to do, but you shouldn't have talked to her like that, okay? Because that's not a way a woman feels loved, tough guy.
Sure. So here's the thing. He brings this up, and then, of course, you have Democrats like Anna Presley, who was downplaying the border issue just recently.
Do you think that the border is secure? Is that what you said?
Yes, the border is secure.
Okay, it's official.
All right, and she has to get back to the Ronald McDonald House. Thank you for taking the time. So the media, also, by the way, she falls for the football trick every time. The media even tried to downplay the border issue, right? CNN actually wrote this. This is actually from CNN. This is a real thing. References are all available. Link in the description. Some U.S. cities, I don't know why I did that like Dr. Phil.
I was like, did he say that?
Some U.S. cities, okay, all right, along southern border have not seen a surge in migrants.
And then NBC said the GOP's myth of an open border. Here's another one. Talk of border crisis is misleading. Let me hit you with some rapid fire facts. Under the Biden administration, over 300,000 unaccompanied children crossed illegally were released into the United States. In 2023, HHS lost contact with at least a third of these children. Now you can listen to the Walking Progeria After School Special or the Cackling Broads of The View, or you can listen to this whistleblower of the HHS, Terrill who confirmed the child trafficking.
I thought I was going to help place children in loving homes. Instead, I discovered that children are being trafficked through a sophisticated network that begins with recruiting in home country, smuggling to the U.S. border, and ends when ORR delivers a child to a sponsor. Some sponsors are criminals and traffickers and members of transnational criminal organizations. Some sponsors view children as commodities and assets to be used for earning income. This is why we are witnessing an explosion of labor trafficking.
Yeah, but she's no Joy Reid. By the way, before we go and continue this segment on Mug Club, you guys all know this. Walther, our longest-standing sponsor here on the show, before someone does someone gets mad about it. Just make sure trigger control, okay, empty. We just said just go to waltherarms.com. Our studios are protected exclusively by Walther, and just Google the reviews. PDP, Walther PDP review. Go see what you find. One of the best kept secrets in the firearm industry, because. Don't do that, because they don't just have giant no-bid military contracts. You will not find anyone who has anything other than glowing things to say, and we are very grateful that they have the balls to sponsor this show. Try it. You'll buy it. You can go find a range nearby. We're going to continue this on Mug Club. If you're watching on Rumble, click that button right now. None of this happens without you, without Mug Club. There is no free show every day without the supporters of Mug Club. So if you know someone at Mug Club, go and thank them. And, of course, we wouldn't be able to send... Gerald over there to Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin in stowaway if it weren't for your Mug Club support. He's absolutely not. I ensured that he has a nice seat and coach overlooking the bathroom. We're not on YouTube, right?
On a Greyhound. No, we're not.
All right. So this is just more.
Thank you,
It's
Rumble.
the spirit of thank you, Rumble. And if we were on YouTube, I would say piss off, but we're not there. So the principle's the same.